Okay, we're on. So I'm recording and I'm welcoming everyone and I'm welcoming you, Dr. Jack Tobol. So great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here to talk about
So
the most exciting subject in the world.
I
And that,
know, I know. I can't. Listen. It's one of my favorite topic, but it's also a very personal one because the way we met, and we actually never met. We met on Zoom, but I heard so much about you
Mhm.
because of my dad. And do you want to tell our story, or should I?
Well, how about you start, Liat? Yeah.
So, my dad is actually been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer over a year ago. And he started very aggressive chemo sessions. And he reached to a point where he lost a lot of weight and like over 25 kilos, which is 50 pounds. And he got to a point that he couldn't drink or eat,
Mhm.
and nobody was able to actually like get him in touch with his body. And I remember when he called me and he told me, like, how can I do that, what do I do? And and then he met you. And um and I, I I, after his first session, I don't know what you did there, but he told me
Mhm.
that you put a glass of water there and you told
Mhm.
him, now you drink the water. And he literally drank it.
Yeah.
So what was that?
Well, I'm a five element practitioner, five element acupuncture. That's the main thing that I do. So, when he came in, he was really not in good shape, as you said. He was very weak, underweight, and the chemotherapy was very difficult on his body. He had a lot of toxicity. So part of what the treatment was to help restart his system and help his body clean out or detox quickly the toxins and the energy from the treatments that he was doing. So that was the main focus of the treatment. And when we did it, what we do is we feel the pulse and we look at the tongue, and we have ways of seeing the improvement. If we do the treatment, we can see that the pulse gets better after the treatment. If the digestive organs become stronger, the liver, the pain, all the main organs. And so once I saw the change, I knew that he was ready to take in the water, as we all do, in a normal way, without being nauseous and without his body rejecting it because of all the toxicity. So yeah, it's really miraculous. Acupuncture and the 17 years that I've been treating, I've seen a lot of miracles, and definitely, that is an example of one, where you see a really amazing change quickly. When somebody is able to come in one way and leave in another way, it's really miraculous, and it's why I do what I do. Um, that's my passion. My passion is to help people live their best life, their healthiest life. And acupuncture is one of the tools that I use to help people do that. Um, but the amazing thing about the treatment is that he eventually, there's a lot of tools that I taught him over the course of the next few weeks that helped him, that he used on his own, that helped him, really, like you say, connect more to his body and help him heal from the main issue, which is, of course, the cancer. Uh, and looking at an issue like that, or looking at any issue that somebody has, you have to really look at it from a holistic point of view. You have to look at it from a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual point of view. And it's not just the body, like Western medicine sees the body, as a mechanic sees a car, and it breaks it down into parts. And if a part starts not working well, they want to change the part or cut it out. That's
Right.
basically what we do. And what we want to do is make the body healthy. And in order to do that, you really have to look at it, because we're holistic beings. We have to look at it from a holistic standpoint.
So
So,
I call it a conversation with our soul.
uh-huh. Yes. And so that's what he started to learn. Absolutely. First of all, to understand that you have a soul, right? Because many people don't even
Exactly.
realize
Because
that.
right. So the thing is that he's been through surgery, he's been through
Mhm.
many things, but when I saw that it was coming to you and I
Yeah.
read all about you, I was relaxed because I
Uh-huh.
knew it was in good hands.
Hmm.
And the way also you're like the way you treat is it's like a whole.
Yeah.
And the conversation with my dad, as long as he start being treated by you, start
Uh-huh.
also changing with time,
Your
'cause
conversations with him, you mean?
my conversation with him,
Yeah.
because I was really able to connect with him. Well, first of all, when I wasn't able to connect with him when he was sick, I was actually connecting to his soul through meditation,
Right.
which is like something I never did before my spiritual journey
Mhm.
started, that I studied how to do, and that really helped me um, deal with the not being able. I'm in Miami, he's in Israel, so we were physically apart, and I couldn't be there to hold his hand or help in any way or discuss over the phone because he was not even capable of talking on the phone.
Right.
So talking to the soul, it seems like
Out of this world, something like my picture.
exactly like who but eventually, the more I was doing it, because it was weird for me at the beginning, but the more I
Mhm.
was doing it and the more it was working, because I can tell you that there was, from the moment I knew he was sick with the cancer, and I've been experiencing that specific cancer with my cousin who passed away. So I know all the symptoms.
Mhm.
But the first time I heard, I knew that he's gonna recover from it. I knew it. That was in my consciousness.
Yeah.
I was like, and people were looking at me like I lost it because it's one of the most aggressive cancer.
Mhm.
But the positive thoughts and the working with the soul and all that. So can you
Mhm.
elaborate how you do it when the way you peel the layers and
Mhm. Mhm. Well, it's beautiful what you're saying, because what I teach is that energy flows where attention goes. So if you already see him, what gave you the peace and gave you the beautiful feeling by connecting and communicating with the soul is that you really saw him in a healthy place. And that's what gave you the strength and the peace, and helped him as well. Because when you see somebody, you do sort of that sort of telepathy where you can see somebody where they want to be. You're actually putting the energy, by putting your attention on it, you're putting the energy there, and that's creating the reality, which is how it works. Your mind creates your reality.
right?
And so what was it that you asked me about, how I did it with him, or how he?
So I know that, like I said, our conversation with time we're like evolving. So,
Mm-hmm.
and every time you are able to relieve another layers of him and make him believe that we have a soul, which most of the
Yes.
people are ignorant to,
Right.
and through our conversation, I really
Right.
realize of the the quality of your work.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, the reason why we find ourselves with such a debilitating disease is because we've haven't seen what we need to see. There are things that we need to correct and fix in our spirit and our body that we haven't looked at. And so that is pointing us in that direction for us to learn and to grow from. Um, and he just, in his journey, he needed to get to that point in order to start opening up the door to wait a second, life is more than just, going through the motions and having experiences. It's about being open to something bigger and
And you know what?
understanding.
I see it everywhere because I see people reaching bottom, like the worst,
Mhm.
either in a very strong divorce like I did,
Right,
or a very bad disease,
right.
or a very, very important person in their life that passed away and
Yeah.
it breaks their whole. So you really
Mhm.
have to reach bottom and go through a very
Sometimes.
strong
Yeah,
crisis in
yeah.
order to like bounce back and realize the essence of of who we are basically.
Yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. It doesn't have to go that far, but sometimes, yes, you're right. Sometimes you have to reach a certain level. And first of all, it's an amazing thing to turn around from that. I mean, because a lot of people don't turn around from it or don't get the opportunity to see what you've seen,
Yeah.
the past year. They go through these experiences, and they just keep going downhill. So the fact that you can actually turn it around, that's a miracle on its own. And it's happening a lot more these days. I mean, the universe and everything in it is constantly expanding, it's growing. There is more light, even though people may not see it now, with what's going on in the world. But evolution, the nature of evolution is expansion and growth. And so now is better than 10 years ago, which is better than 50 years ago, which is better than 100 years ago.
Right.
So more people are getting to know the essence of who they are. It's something that's happening naturally, and it's something that it's my job as a light worker, which is what I call myself, to guide people there and to help them understand this. And that's it's a lot of what I do in the course that I teach is helping people connect with that place and be able to um, experience that place and be able to get information from that place and guidance
So
from that
now,
place.
as a light worker,
Yes.
acupuncture is very physical. So
Mhm.
how do you actually relate the light and the acupuncture and make it energetic?
Yes. So, well, acupuncture is physical, but it's also very energetic. Remember, we're working with energy when we're doing acupuncture. But, and the specific style that I work with, that the 5 elements, is also very
Five elements.
spiritual. It's
Right.
very spiritual in nature. You really have to get to know the person, who they are, the dominant emotions that they feel, um, their beliefs, and the points themselves actually help release those emotions and actually help can change certain beliefs just by touching a point. Um, but what I've developed over the years is even more of you call it like an addition to the treatment that I'm able to see even beyond the points and the needles, and into their subconscious, and around their aura, and be able to understand in a more detailed way what's going on, which helps me help them in a much better way.
Because
And that's something.
I had a treatment with you over Zoom, and you were able to actually
Uh-huh.
uh, treat me,
Right,
first time,
right,
and tell me like you bloated and
right,
you never saw me before,
right.
and you were able to tell like to release that
Mhm, mhm.
energy
Yeah,
from just a
long
simple
distance.
conversation
From
from
long distance.
distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That's
So
a little bit.
energetic acupuncture is really about working with the energy. And energy has no boundaries, right? There's no limit to distance. It's all with intention. It's with your mind. So you can put yourself, like right now I'm in outer space. You can put yourself on Mars mentally, and you can really be there. And so distance has no limit. When you focus your intention on someone or something, you can change the reality. Um, you can move mountains, really, if you had the belief in the connection.
Were you able to see in my body the energy flow? Were you able to feel it, to
Yes,
see
I
it?
was able to feel it, and what I teach in the course, I think, is the most important tool somebody can learn in their life, and that's muscle
Okay.
testing. Okay, it's using your body to help guide you um, towards the right decision, help you understand what's going on, like what is the best decision to make in any given time in your life. If it's a what to eat, or if it's should I buy this house or not buy this house, should I go to this restaurant, not go to any decision, from the simplest to the most complex. You can listen to the soul, which is actually your body is actually the covering for your soul. It's the it's the physical part that moves according to what the soul, guides you to.
But
So
people are mostly they're not in tune with themselves today. They're not,
exactly.
like, they don't
So
listen to their
right.
inner world. So how do we make them actually
It's a
listen?
practice. It's a practice. And what I do is I give them the tools. But it's easy. Technically, it's really easy. It's just about practicing it, and developing a sensitivity to it. But you have to start somewhere, Liat. And it's something that I think, even if I give a half-hour session on it, people can take it and run, and
So
start going with it.
we don't have a half an hour, but if you
Right.
want to give a tip to the audience and give them
Right.
something like for 1 or 2 minutes,
Uh-huh.
what would that be? Do you have something like that for us?
Well, yeah, well, I can give you something, yes. So, so one way to tune into your body, and to know what it feels like to be in your body,
Mhm.
something I call stillness.
Okay.
And in order to be in your body, you have to come out of your head, right? Which is where most people are most of the time.
Okay.
Is they're in their minds and in their thoughts. And most of the thoughts that people think during the day are garbage. They have, they're not authentic thoughts. They're not thoughts that come from source. They're thoughts that go round and round and round in circles. It's and it's worry. It's thinking about this. It's thinking about what you need to buy, what to get at the supermarket, and is this person going to come home on time, and blah 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 blah. So you have to come out of that space and into your soul, into your body. So one way you can do it is just rub your hands like this.
You guys doing it with us?
You can rub your hands,
Yeah.
put your hands on your lap, like, in an open
Facing
place.
up or
Yeah,
down?
like
Facing
this,
up?
facing
Okay.
up, and just feel your hands. Okay. Now, most people are going to feel like tingling, maybe warmth. You just want to take a couple deep breaths and just feel the energy movement in your hands. The warmth, the tingling, feel it move through the arms, maybe other places in your body. And what you're doing is you're actually connecting to your body, which houses the soul. So you're coming out of the mental and into the deeper parts of yourself. So if I just test everybody that's watching right now, about 70% are actually there. So
Wow.
so
What do you
that's
mean? How can you tell? What did you do with your finger now?
so I tested it. I tested energetically. I asked a question, how many people? And then I tested, is it 10%? No. Is it 20? No. 30? No. 40? No. 50? No. 60? 70. So 70 is the answer. So 70. So about 70% of people, by doing that for 30 seconds, we got there.
Wow.
They got to
That's
that
quite
point.
impressive. That means we have a good core of people.
uh, and when you get to know that place, you get to know that connection. It's automatic healing, because when the sino, when the doorways open for energy to flow in from the universe, from source, from God, then you're automatically healing. how much of the day are we actually really connected to that place? Not much, not much. Most people, it's less than 0.1%. So if we practice that technique that I just showed you and just do that, you can do that for one or 2 minutes, a few times a day, and you're already going to see huge change in your day and your week. If you just, create that connection. And because with that connection comes peace, with that connection comes a calm, with that connection comes healing. And you get to experience and know that you are much bigger than this body, that your soul, that your essence is much bigger. So you start connecting to that oneness that everybody's connected to.
I saw a picture one time of like our body,
Mm-hmm.
which like in all dark and grayish, and like it's 20%, and the 80% of it is our soul. So if we think that we're like 100% as a whole, we like, we're not, we're missing the whole point. It's like our soul is the one guiding us. And to
Right.
tackle what you said before, I know that I used to wake up from bed, and the first thing I would do was to just take my phone and start looking at all the messages. That's the
Right.
way I was waking up. And when I start doing that work, my spiritual work, I realized how toxic it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I created some rituals in my life of waking up and putting it on the other room, not touching it, and connecting, meditating or prayer, or some sort of stuff that really connect me to that light. And my day, when I don't do it, sometimes my day is not the same. Like it's
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the most important thing. I mean, when you, the morning, especially first thing in the morning, is how you start your day. And if you start it off by feeding the spirit, which is generally starving for most people,
right.
if we're not doing this, if you're not doing any work, any type of meditation or connection or something that helps feed the spirit, most likely it's starving. And so the first thing you do in the morning is feed your spirit, so that it's whole, so that it feels full, because it's what affects the body, it's what affects the mind. So you can see, and by the work that you've been doing, you can see the difference of what it's like waking up, not doing it versus doing it.
For
And
sure.
it has a cumulative effect. So if you do it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, you can see, that the effect grows and grows and grows. It's pretty cool. And then you can do all kinds of cool things like fly to outer space like me.
Or just be there like you are right now.
You can change the weather, you can do all kinds of cool stuff.
Whoa, okay. That's like empowering
That's
ourselves.
for the course. That's for the course.
Okay.
For the advanced course.
So it was also funny the way that we get to know each other. Like my story with my dad was like, I started to do acupuncture in Miami with Deva.
Mm-hmm.
And when she introduced me to the 5-element acupuncture, I had no idea what it was, but I was, she treated me for a whole year. And when I spoke to my dad, and then I spoke to you, when we spoke first, you told me you were doing the 5-element acupuncture as well on my dad, which I didn't know before. And then I was like, oh, really? I'm also being treated by that. And apparently you and Deva know each other.
Yeah. So what's the coincidence? What a coincidence, huh?
What a coincidence is that. And
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's kind of going through a journey in parallel universe, and with my dad, because we had that special connection. And
yeah. So while he was doing his work here, you were doing your work, and you were continuing, and it's like you were doing it together, and indirectly, you
Yeah,
were being like uplifted by him being uplifted too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's very moving to
Mhm.
realize that.
Mhm.
And
So we're talking about synchronicity. Synchronicity is an amazing spiritual gift also, when things happen kind of at the right time and they kind of line up, almost miraculous or miraculously, because you're following the light. And when you're following the light, the universe makes things, puts things into order for you where you couldn't believe you couldn't do it otherwise. And so there's only two 5 element schools in the world. So the chance of me meeting your dad, meeting 5 element practitioner, and you doing go one is like one in a probably billion. And the fact that I actually know the practitioner and went to school with her is also, very, very, very low. So there's a lot of synchronicity there. And when you're following the light, all kinds of amazing things happen. People think luck is like something from, something that's we're a victim of, something that's somebody decides up above how lucky you are or not lucky you are. But luck is created by your decisions. When you follow the light, when you make good decisions, and it's coming from the right place of truth, then all the good things happen as you go in that path,
and
and you creating the good luck. There's no such thing as bad luck. Bad luck is like, if something happens, it's because it was meant to happen. There's a good reason for it. It's because of certain decisions and directions you took before that happened. Um, and so what we can do is we can learn to get on that, what it feels like to be on that path. And so when you started to go that path, all kinds of amazing things happen. All of a sudden, um,
oh my God, I can
you
name
meet
you
this
a
person,
million, a
you meet
million.
that person, all of a sudden you meet me, and all of a sudden I'm treating your dad, and all of a sudden you're starting this channel, right? This channel all came out of that, right? So all this thing is like this flow that happens, and which is really healing and really feels good. When you're in the light, it feels good. How do you know you're not in the light? The
How?
odds doesn't
How?
feel good. It doesn't feel good.
Apparently.
It's that simple.
But you know what? The more you do the work, and sometimes you get off track. This,
Yeah, it's not
it
perfect.
happens. It
Sure.
happens.
Of
But
course.
I got so many tools that even when I go off track, I know how to bring myself back on track
There you
much
go.
faster than I
There
used
you
to in
go.
the past.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And these tools I
So
teach, there's
exactly.
tons of
So this
tools.
is something that we can learn. We can learn how to practice that. It's like
Yeah.
going to the gym and working up your body. So in that you're working out your spirituality basically.
The most important thing, though, is that you take responsibility. That is the most important thing. So when you were down in dumps, you got the divorce, you took responsibility. You said, okay, I'm going to get myself straight. You went, you found this practitioner, you found Deva, you found Eleanor. You kept searching, and you kept really wanting the truth, wanting to feel better. You took responsibility. You didn't blame this person or that person or your ex-husband or
Oh, I blame
this.
them. I
Oh,
blame them for a lot of things, but then
for a while.
but through the work, I started,
That's the
releasing the
point.
anger and
But that's the
forgiving
whole, exactly, exactly.
and understanding also that they, appreciating why they came into my life and
Oh,
thanking
that's
them.
the advanced course. Yes.
Like, okay, so I'm on the advanced course, but
Yeah.
today I get to a point that with all my, I don't know if hate is the right word, but I was very close to that, to my ex-husband.
Yeah.
Today, I see him as Nitzav. How do I say? Like, he has a very big role in my life because if not him, you know, and everything I went through
Uh-huh.
through him, I would never reach the point, the level of where I am today. So
That's
I'm
a
like thanking him, as the more cruel he is to me, the more I thank him, So I don't know how sadistic it is, but it's like appreciating the bad, because from the bad we learn the good in our life.
yeah. And that's full responsibility. So you've done the work, you've done the work. People who are listening, this is great, because in a year of going, doing the courses, learning the tools, look at what you've accomplished, which is what everybody wants. What they want to feel the peace, they want to feel the love, they want to feel the completeness and the understanding in their life. And it's a constant journey. We always grow. It never ends. But when you're in that direction, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's living your best life. And that's what I do. That's my passion. That's what I teach people. If they come to me one on one, or if we do a course, I try to give them all the tools and information and understanding, so that they can take it and like do what you need to do first thing in the morning. Learn how to test, learn how to do some meditation, learn about stillness, learn about who you are and what your potential is. You have to know that, and yeah.
Do you want to touch on the body of lights? That 'cause this is
Uh-huh.
something that really intrigued me with the work that you do. You want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about that?
So in the advanced course, what I'm going to teach is bodies of light is a very, very, very powerful tool. Like we've been talking about tools, meditation, and stillness. So that's a very powerful tool that helps you connect into your inner source and bring out the best of you. Helps open you up to the light and heal, in a lot of different ways. And it does so in a very powerful way. Like there's a certain breathing technique that you learn, a certain text or that you read, and it's like a 10-minute exercise where you're opening up doors to infinite amounts of light, and it's very, very powerful.
And
So
is
that's
it
something that
something
I
done
teach.
through letters or something? Is it? Oh,
No,
it's
it's reading a text. It's
a
reading a
reading text.
text.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a one page, or I have it in Hebrew, in English, in Spanish, any language. I have it translated. The Hebrew version, I translated it myself. I did, word by word. It took me a long time to get it exact, but each word is like a doorway. Okay. When you say the text, like the first sentence is, I am the temple of God. Okay. Ani
Mm-hmm.
migdash shel Hashem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first sentence. So just say that 10 times and see how you feel. I am the temple of God. I am the
Right.
temple of God. Ani migdash el Hashem. Just saying that, and you're opening up doors, which letting in light of who you are. You are the light.
It's
So you're letting
amazing
in of
because
more of who you are.
it's related to the session I had with Rabbi Shira about
Okay.
Kabbalah meditation, because when he does the session with the meditation, we meditate on Hebrew letters, or
Uh-huh.
a name, or like on a word that is emet, and then
Uh-huh.
you receive the energy, and you when you meditate on that really it's exactly what you're explaining. It's
It's
opening
similar.
up
Yeah.
the gate of that word, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's absolutely similar. I mean, we know the power of the Hebrew letters, right? I mean, it's a doorway. Each letter, the combination of letters, opens up a certain energy, and you can use that for sure. Hmm.
and apropos translation, you wrote a book, right, in Hebrew, but I would love for you to work on the translation in
English
English,
version.
so I can help you,
Yes.
make
Right.
it available in the United States. So I can't wait
Sure.
so whoever is listening here, please go and look up what's the name of your book?
Um,
Elef Sinin.
Milyar, yeah, but it's in Hebrew, right?
Right.
Yeah, if they go to my website, you can download it for free.
So it's Milyard Sinin, millions of Chinese people. They don't they don't
Yeah,
make
they don't make
mistakes,
they don't make
right?
mistakes.
Right. And it's all related to the Chinese medicine with the acupuncture. And
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
fascinating, fascinating. So we have 2 more minutes left. I really want to thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and I
Yeah,
love
it
that
was
talk.
fun.
I love to connect with you. And by the way, how is my father? Because I know you see him more than me. So I know you saw him yesterday.
Uh-huh. He's
How is he
doing well.
doing?
He's doing well. He's handling the treatments really well with almost no side effects. Um, and yeah, he's got one treatment left. And then we're gonna see. We're gonna see, how he does after. But his energy is good. He's working out. He's exercising. He's eating, drinking,
You know,
and his mind frame is pretty good. I mean, his spirit is pretty up, so that's really good too.
yesterday I had the most amazing and deep conversation with him where
Hmm.
I told him, like, look at that conversation we're having. Like a year ago we could never speak at that level, and it's all because of
Wow.
you. It's all because of you. So
Um,
thank you. You
you're
saved
welcome.
my dad. So I'm like, I will forever be thankful for you.
Thank you, Liat.
And
Okay.
on that note, I just want to tell you that next week I'm going to be having my own talk, and I'm going to be telling you more about my journey, my spiritual journey, where I came from and where I'm heading to. So please join us as well. If you didn't make it from the beginning, we're going to send you the recording. So every time, if the time is not convenient, you can just still sign up and view it at your own time. In 2 weeks, we're going to have a special talk with all the mentors coming together. We're going to get more questions from the crowd, so you can actually ask whatever you want, personal questions, or anything that intrigued you about the work that they do. And that will be a live event. So please join us and register and pass it to your friends. And that's it. I guess we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you for everyone who were on the
All right.
channel and on the talk.
Thank you.
We love you. I love you. Thank you again. And I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.